TDL Live on Monday, as usual, October 13th, 2008. Monday the 13th. Ooh. If you're new to the show, I'm Ryan Ritchie. This is Adam Ford. Adam, what do we do each week here on the show?
We give you the rundown of the latest and greatest in Apple news, rumors, and lifestyle.
And to help us do that is this bowl, ladies and gentlemen, the fishbowl of news. And just because it's low doesn't mean it's not important. So then,
that's right.
Welcome to the show. You can join us via iChat or AOL Instant Messenger. Just send your message to TDL Live. That's two L's in the middle. Be careful. TD Live somewhere. That's not us.
And we'd like to apologize. Last week we were having some technical difficulties. Appreciate you stopping back in.
Don't look back. Just full forward.
Forging on. Tomorrow's Tuesday.
And
we'll get there.
We'll get there. It's in the bowl. Lots to talk about with potential new stuff from Cupertino. We'll get to that.
Goodies.
And a lot of other stuff. So then, without further ado, go in. It's all you.
Don't mind if I do. Let's mix it around here. See what we get.
What do we got?
Oh, this is interesting. Apple stops Colorado call center plans, 500 jobs lost. So the rumor has it that Apple is planning a U.S.-based call center, which is nice for anybody who's ever been on tech support. And supposedly it was going to be to handle increased call volume related to iPod and iPhone. But they apparently scrapped that. About 500 seats they were going to have, 500 agents, which would have been a nice little capacity boost. But they're citing that iPhone OS version 2.1 is more stable, so they don't need... So, do you believe that?
Come on.
So they don't need the seats anymore, which was going to be operated by Volt Information Sciences. It was scheduled to start October 13th. Today. Not happening.
Colorado Springs. Anybody who's watching from Colorado Springs can verify this story. It was from the local paper, picked up by MacNN. But apparently folks were already in the training for these positions.
Yeah, that'd be rough. I mean, if you're expecting to have a new job and then all of a sudden the day that you're supposed to start gets canned. I mean, I suppose it happens all the time, but it's a tough situations out there for folks.
Now, the one thing about this that seemed a little strange to me was a little bit at the end about how it was going to be managed by this other company, Information Services. Is that standard for Apple? I mean, don't they usually handle all of the Apple Care stuff themselves?
Well, it's standard. It's standard to outsource that to like your lower level, like if you were to think about your lower level technicians who can go through the checklist of things that you're supposed to do, and if not, get you escalated to somebody maybe in official Apple Care.
Okay.
So I think that it's probably pretty standard, and it's pretty standard for big name companies to outsource things like call center activity and things like that. So.
But I think this might have been the first time, and we're not going to research it. This may have been the first time that Apple did this within the country. Do you disagree? Disagree? Because I believe...
You mean with a third party?
Correct. Because I think Apple Care in Texas, those were all true Apple employees doing phone support, and I don't know that there was a level under them.
I don't know.
But at any rate, so we've got this cut of the call center, potentially.
Yeah.
Maybe because the phone suddenly works so much better, which seems a little odd.
They're also citing economic times as well being...
Right, which is probably the bigger of those two, which leads me to this question, sir. What do you think, or what, we'll play an old game I like to call, what would it take? What would it take for the economic downturn to start to affect Apple stores in terms of head count, etc.?
Ooh, I think it would take quite a bit. I don't know if they're going to be hiring as vigorously as maybe they always do, just to be responsible. You don't want to get yourself into a bad situation if you're not already in one.
Right.
But I don't think that they're going to cut back, and I don't think people are going to lose their jobs at Apple stores. I think that it would really take something absolutely god-awful for that to happen. And I don't even think they're going to slow down their store opening pace, to be honest.
You think they're going to just keep...
I think they're going to keep forging along,
I do think that, ironically, I've read some stories that say that whenever economic times, whenever there's a little bit of a downturn, for certain items, people look for quality. When money is precious and your option is whether to buy a $700 crappy PC or a $1,000 Mac, theory goes people tend to value the money more and will go with the Mac because they see the long-term value. If that's true, Apple might, some other things might get hit before Apple, maybe even other PC vendors.
Right.
Just throwing it out there, TDL Live.
We'll see.
Also, feedback at thedigital.lifestyle.tv. Send us an email. We enjoy that as well. And there's a phone number.
We're on iChat. We're on iChat and AOL Instant Messenger, TDL Live. So people are like, TDL Live? Okay, what does that mean? iChat and AOL Instant Messenger.
Okay.
Just clarifying.
I'm sorry.
Clarifying for the new folks.
Thank you. Do we have a busload of new folks coming in tonight?
We might. Welcome if you are.
Hello. Greetings. I don't know. Do we want to? All right, let's do it.
Let's just dive right into it.
I pulled the biggie. New notebooks to be focus of Apple event.
That's right.
Tomorrow, October 14th, the big day. She's a brick. Computer.
Commodores are like, what are you doing?
What do you do? Well, it was under 10 seconds, so I will not be paying you a royalty. Tomorrow we've got the big Apple announcement that's happening at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and I'll be around for live video after the announcement, so we'll get some instant feedback on that, and hope you'll join us for that. If you don't have to work tomorrow, sounds good. By the way, happy Columbus Day, I guess.
Yeah.
Of all the holidays, to shout out. I picked Columbus Day. Anyhow, but let's get back to the notebooks.
Get back to it.
Okay, Tuesday, we've got new notebooks coming. We know that much.
Yes.
The question is, how new is new? Number one. And number two, does it matter? Let's start with the price. There are rumors, $800, $899, $900, which is close to $899. What do you think? Is this a big deal? Is it important for Apple? Or is it just a nice thing that, oh, those are a little cheaper now? Whatever those may be.
No, I think that it is a big deal considering the times. I think it says a lot about Apple's position, and we're going to keep creating new good stuff, and we're going to keep updating our current lines, and forging on as we do. So I think it's important in that regard. I think that it's we've seen some interesting stories come about manufacturing and water jet technology in one piece of aluminum and things like that, which is pretty cool, if nothing else. But I think that it is important. I think that it's important regardless of whether or not we just get a speed increase or if it's, I think in order for it to be like really important, it needs to be something cosmetic, because that's really what at the end of the day, I mean, it's great if you throw a faster processor in there, but people want something that looks new, that they've maybe never seen before. It was all the rage on the new MacBooks with the keyboards and everything else that were just brand new. So I think if they jazz it up and do something cosmetically different, Johnny gets his hands on it.
Via iChat, Gray I98 asking, what about a MacBook Touch? Do you think we see a new product tomorrow? Do you think we see touch functionality on an existing product?
No, it's the wrong event. It's really the wrong event. I mean, I think that gestures and things like that will be built into the trackpad. Okay. But I don't think that you're going to get anything that groundbreaking. That's something that they would reserve for an
event,
for a real to do. Your Macworld, your developers conference.
Okay.
It's not really a come to campus and sit in the town hall and let's huddle around and take a look at the new stuff.
So let's talk about that for a minute. We were talking before we went on air. All we do is back and forth about Apple. But we were talking about this idea of the event.
Yes.
And I said, if this is just a cosmetic change to the existing MacBooks, a price drop, and spec bump, does that warrant an event? Because everyone else in the world, that's just a new model. Here it is. It's out there. Buy it now. My concern is at some point, the blogs that cover all this stuff, the people who run to Cupertino every 3 months for the big announcement will say, you know what, it might be a dud. We're just going to hold off.
It's not the way that Apple does it, though. I mean, Apple doesn't do anything that's just throw it out there, kind of under the radar, and we'll just put it out because it's something new. They rarely ever do that. And with their highest selling computers, which are their portable line, I don't think that you just usher something out, even if it is just a speed bump. It generates hubbub and noise. If no press attend this press event and they fill the town hall with Apple employees, everybody knows that the press event is happening, and they're going to be looking for what's new. They're going to be on the store, and it's going to say, "Ooh, sorry, we'll be back."
Everybody will get excited.
Everybody will get excited. Keep refreshing. When can I see the new stuff? It generates noise, and it generates attention, and that has a value in and of itself. Even if it's not the greatest release ever. So I think they continue doing it. I think they'll never stop doing it.
Okay, and if people kept coming back after the hi-fi announcement, then they keep coming back. Another question in the chat here regarding whether we might see 4-core not at a lower price.
Right.
There might be a high-end MacBook Pro, and also eco-friendly. So let's talk a little bit about the question about whether it'll be more eco-friendly. Let's talk a little bit about this whole process we've heard, that it might be from a piece of aluminum, that via lasers and water jets and all kinds of things that usually disfigure you in sci-fi movies, that the computer comes out the other end.
It's going to come out as a Terminator.
Put on the tinfoil hat. Could I get Reynolds Aluminum to sponsor my tinfoil hat segment each week?
Maybe.
That'd be great. And Mac Girl, could you make me a tinfoil hat for next week? Here's my theory. Here's my out there theory that will probably prove to be ridiculous within 24 hours.
Or 5 minutes, whichever comes first.
Apple has taken some heat mainly from us, for the manufacturing in China, but everybody's there. That's the way the industry works. That's where everything's made. But here's what I say to you, sir. The 1983 Mac, the Mac right back here, the Mac SE, FDHD, that means floppy drive, hard drive for you youngins. Dual floppies, by the way. This Mac rolled off a state-of-the-art, for the time, assembly line in California.
Yep.
And the big deal was that no human hands touched it. There were just a few key things that needed to be put together. So here's what I'm going to throw out there to you. What if this new construction process is so automated that Steve says, you know what, we're just going to do it here. Not because he wants to wave his American flag and show his patriotism and everything, but because it's possible to crank out these laptops using half a dozen people. Maybe there's 3 or 4 parts that need to be put together by human hands, and the rest of it's automated. You say no. I
say no. I don't think that they're going to abandon not only their relationships, which they've been able to drive costs on just very impressively year over year, but in real estate and having any hand in the manufacturing process, bringing it back in-house, is increased costs. And when you're a worldwide, you have worldwide operations, you're going to end up shipping regardless. So driving down your freight and shipping costs and hubbing costs and things like that are going to be. It really doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense, I don't think. Okay. I mean, if you want to have something here just for the U.S. production, and maybe it kind of makes sense, but I still think that you end up driving up your cost, and for sure labor costs more. Even if you have 6 people, you're still paying those 6 people more than you'd be paying 6 people somewhere else. So I don't see it.
So would you discount it anywhere in the world? Do you think manufacturing's not a way that they're going to go?
I'm sorry?
You don't think they're going to go into manufacturing? The only reason,
No.
But the thing, yes, manufacturing it yourself means increased cost, but it also means increased control. And if there's one thing Apple likes, it's control.
But they have plenty. They have plenty of control over their contract manufacturers.
Okay.
They have hands-on, and they're involved in everything from the beginning to end. There's a lot of checks that they go through, so they're very involved.
Also, someone in the chat reminding us, I should say, that the Mac Pros are assembled in the U.S.
That's correct, California.
Thank you. So let's go back to features. MacBook, some of the rumors out there, the new MacBook, if that's still what it's called, will not have a FireWire port.
It's what they're saying.
Concerns me. You say no big deal.
We were talking about it earlier before, and I do see your point, which you can get to, but I don't really see it as a big deal. I mean, when you look at your peripherals, your printers, your hard drives these days, for the most part, they're USB 2.0. I mean, I think very few people have FireWire devices that are a MacBook user, not a MacBook Pro user. I think that, you know, your students who are just, you know, typing papers and in the education market like that, I don't think that they're really using a lot of FireWire devices. And if there's another way around it, which we were kind of talking about before, but I'll let you get into that as well. I think that there's ways around it.
See, my biggest concern would not be the hard drives, it would be cameras, and the fact that most digital cameras are still FireWire, and if they are USB... video cameras, thank you. If they are USB, they tend to be a little wonky if you're trying to bring that in on the Mac. So that would be my concern, and not so much from a standpoint of, well, I'm not going to buy this Mac because it doesn't have it. My concern would be someone who needs a FireWire port. Now they have to look at a $2,000 MacBook Pro versus maybe an $800 PC in order to get that video in. Not that FireWire is 100% prevalent on the PC side either. And I'll remind you, sir, that MacBook with FireWire saved our little Segway Polo broadcast with Steve Wozniak.
That's true. It certainly did. Now, I'm not saying that I would like to see the FireWire go away. You know, if my LaCie drive hadn't just taken a dump on me, I would still have a FireWire device that. Yeah, I know. I would still have a FireWire device that I would need to support, and that would be a real turnoff for me. So I'm not suggesting that it's a good thing that it go.
Turnoffs include
no FireWire.
No FireWire. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm not hinting at that, but I don't know that it's a huge loss if you get rid of it and you offer more in some other way.
And there's a standard, there's a way you can send FireWire over Ethernet. There is a standard developed for that. No one uses it. Apple could support that and use the Ethernet port for both Ethernet and FireWire. Not at the same time, obviously. You'd need to have an adapter. Wouldn't be the first time an Apple laptop came with an adapter.
True.
Don't forget TDL Live on AOL Instant Messenger or via iChat. Let us know what you think about tomorrow's announcements. And what else did I want to cover on that? We talked about the FireWire port concerns. Oh, on the blog, today there's a blog entry if you want to take a look. Not now, unless you open it in a new window, where I proclaim the end of the MacBook Air is near. And you say no.
Absolutely not.
The MacBook Air is a transitional product, I say, sir. It is a certain weight and a certain thickness.
Yep.
And as soon as Apple gets a full-featured laptop to be that same weight and thickness, that will be the end of the Air. If not tomorrow, sooner than we may think.
It'll be the end of that version of the Air, and then they will do something again that's on the cutting edge, and then they will look at how to integrate that into their more mainstream devices. So I think it's more of an evolutionary product than a transitional product or something that's just going to be a flash in the pan. I think they use it, they learn from it, they incorporate it into other devices, and then they evolve it and use it to test even more.
Okay. We also have some rumors about flat screen TVs with Apple TV built in. That wouldn't be announced tomorrow, right? That would be a different event?
It's certainly not portable, and they've already told us firsthand that it's going to be a portable event. So not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
And at this point, after tomorrow, Apple will be, one would assume, locked for the holidays.
Yeah,
I would think.
There's no way they're gonna.
You're not gonna bring something out mid-November.
No.
So if there's going to be an iPhone bump to 32 gigs, we would see that, but I don't think that's going to happen before the holidays.
No.
The Apple TV combo would have to happen, but again, I think this would have been billed as a different event if we were going to have a lot of these announcements.
Yep.
So after tomorrow, you should be locked, and which reminds me, later this week, it's the Apple Buyer's Guide for the holiday season. We're going to break down each product and pros and cons, who it's for, who it's not for, but we have to wait till tomorrow to know what the products are.
Yeah, and one of the other rumors going on was the NVIDIA graphics that is going to go from Intel graphics integrated to different chipset on the MacBook with NVIDIA graphics, and we know that NVIDIA's like, no, there's no problems with the NVIDIA chip in the MacBook Pro, and Apple's like, yeah, there really are, so we'll take care of it for 2 years after your purchase, and then it's like you're going to roll that into your another product line,
Right.
which I love the idea of not having Intel graphics, because every time I do something graphic intensive on my MacBook, it like wants to like just burst into flames and start sounding like a flying saucer. So I'm all about not integrated graphics.
Are you looking at a lot of pictures on that MacBook Air?
There's some video content.
I don't know who's up. Mac Girl?
I
Okay,
believe I am.
Adam Ford is
We have
going
a
into
lot
the
of things to get to.
We sure do.
I feel like we hit a few of them though.
That's all right. It's all right.
We'll
That we can always keep leftovers for next week.
True. One's old and stale. iPhones go to front of the class at Texas University.
A Texas University.
Because no.
I know, but the headline's wrong. The headline's wrong.
No. Oh, it sure is. It sure is. At Abilene Christian University, almost 1,000 freshmen are getting some iPhones here.
On
to the next one.
The iPhones, along with specialized software applications for the folks there at that university, Abilene Christian, ACU, home of the fighting
TDL Live.
Let's hope no one.
Instant Messenger.
You know what? Maybe no one fights there. Maybe they just all get along.
They all get along.
All right, it's going again. By the way, just want to remind everyone, if you're enjoying the live show and thinking, where can I see more? Don't forget, if you go into iTunes and do a search for The Digital Lifestyle, all one word, you will find this show, some of our other shows, the iPhone app reviews, iPod game reviews. You can subscribe to all that stuff. I don't think Apple knows we're there. Okay. What do we have here? Oh boy, another award for Johnny Ive. iPod. Now this headline.
This is great.
This headline sounds like it's from 2001.
Yeah.
iPod named Gadget of the Year. Woohoo! Gadget of the. Can the DVD recorder be far behind?
Kazoos and like what are those? The little. Yeah.
I think we did a great job there. We don't need them. This is in Britain, the T3 Technology Magazine Awards. Apple wins 4 top prizes, including Gadget of the Year for the iPod Touch. Now, maybe that's a better thing, iPod Touch. But if the old classic's still racking up awards, come on.
I say props for still recognizing the iPod as a good product.
And I say props for diving in.
Alrighty. Let's check it out. What do we got? Survey says 8% of U.S. teens own an iPhone, 22% want one. I think that figure's low, but I'm not. I'm not Jupiter. I'm not Piper Jeffrey here. So Piper Jeffrey's going out and doing their biannual survey of teenage buying patterns and preferences. That's the 16th biannual. Do the math on that. Anyway, we don't do math here. So basically, it's saying that it basically says that teens want an iPhone, which we didn't really need. I don't think we need any analysts to tell us that teens want cool, trendy products. But of course, they might not have the buying power to have that.
But these kids and their phones, you take your iPod Touch and be happy.
Yeah. So it's up. I mean, those figures are basically up, is what it's saying, and it's saying that teens want it. They can't necessarily buy it, but it might say something about the holiday spending season and where if parents are asking, "What do you want for the holiday?" I want an iPhone. Well, yeah, I want an iPhone too. You're not getting one, kid, but they might be, and it was a more. I believe it was a more affluent pool that they were polling. So
well, the kids are spoiled, but that was before Stockgate. I don't know what to call it. Market
meltdown.
Market meltdown.
That's a rebound.
By the way, stock at because I don't think this is in there.
I don't believe it is.
Up 13.
Yep.
To finish at whatever it was yesterday, Friday plus 13.
Crowd goes wild.
Very good. And thanks to folks in the chat room letting us know that ACU, Abilene Christian, they do not use a name. They are not fighting.
Okay.
They play in the intramurals.
Thank you very much.
Without team names.
Very good.
A world without labels. Thank you, viewer. I know this one.
This is great.
This one got us thinking here. So one of the rumors out there floating around, ladies and gentlemen, the exclusive iPhone 3G available at Walmart. What do you think?
I think that I don't know what to think about this. It's kind of scary, actually. I mean, the iPod. The iPod, so the iPod, you can get the iPod at Walmart and Target, and people kind of know how to use the iPod by now. It's been out long enough, and it's the iPod. No instructions are required. But the iPhone is a little bit more complicated, and it's got some things that you might not know about it, some questions you might want to ask some people, and I don't think it's really the problem. Well, I think it's like becoming commoditized. If it's being, you can get it at your local Walmart. Certainly convenient for some people, but I don't know if the caliber of knowledge is going to be right.
Well, a couple of concerns on my front. One, the iPhone will be sitting there where it's more expensive than the e-machine that's next to it. First of all. Secondly, there are many Walmarts in parts of the country that don't have 3G. And so you're selling people this device that they're really not going to be able to use as it's advertised anyhow.
Right.
And good luck dealing with the returns and so forth. What surprises me a little bit, folks, if you didn't know this, Mr. Ron Johnson, head of Apple Retail, is veteran of Target. And I don't think he burned any bridges there. I would think if they were going to try to get this kind of distribution, they would knock on Target's door first.
I would think so. I don't know. I have a hard time believing that Apple wants to paint themselves as you can get our products at Walmart. Not that there's anything wrong with Walmart. I think that they see themselves as being a more high-end brand. You know what I mean? And I don't think that you say high-end and quality and things like that by getting into bed with Walmart.
Right. Whoa. Whoa. Watch out for falling prices. But even Best Buy kind of cheapens it to some extent.
No, I think that it does. I think what it cheapens is Apple Retail. I think that it's like, we pour all this money into a retail channel and make these stores pretty great. I mean, they're not as great as they once were, I think, but you spend your time investing in your people and really training them and making sure that you can give your customers the best experience when they're buying your product, and then you go and offer it at the Walmart down the street, where you just go in, you grab it, you leave, or you try to find somebody but you don't know, so you just grab it, and then you're showing up at the Genius Bar. Well, how do I use it? Maybe that's the ploy. Maybe that's the technique. But get it in your hands. You don't know how to do it. You sign up for the one-to-one or whatever they're calling it, and you see the Genius, and you got to get your care and.
But at the same time, I mean, we've mentioned time and time again that the Apple stores are too busy. They're too crowded to actually be run effectively many weekends. And so maybe you start to meet the demand, and maybe the experience at the Apple store, and thus the UPT, or units per transaction, hello Apple retail workers, the UPT goes up because you have that time again to spend with people to make it more about computers. Now, anything to add to that before I drop my bombshell here, my tinfoil hat part 2?
No, go ahead.
Folks,
you know what I feel.
Do not adjust your set. Here is my second, your bonus tinfoil theory hat of the night.
Oh boy.
Theory of the night.
Should I be sitting for this?
No. Put it together. Connect the dots, my friend. Connect the dots. iPhone 3G in Walmart in November. Apple announcing laptop at new low price. Could we see MacBooks at Walmart?
No. Absolutely not. That would totally. I don't know what I would do.
It's a new era. It's a new era, my friend.
No, I don't think it's a new era. I don't think it's that new. I don't think it's that new.
You go to the Walmart, you buy your iPhone, you activate it with your MacBook Walmart edition, and you go over and buy your flat screen TV with the Apple TV slapped on the back of the Vizio, and and you're done. And then don't even get me started on the Apple Store within a store.
I don't even want to entertain this. I don't even want to humor you, because you're wearing Walmart blue today.
I am. I'm a team player. All right, let's move on. Let's. Am I in? I'm in. All right,
go
folks.
for it. I think you were on the Walmart story, but that's all right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'll double dip.
No, you're right, because I did.
Dip.
All right.
I'll double dip.
Okay. All right, but I'm not going in that bowl after you double dip.
No. Hey now.
Apple launches iPhone Developer Tech Talks. This is a quickie. Apple Apple launches iPhone Developer Tech Talks. If you don't know anything about it, say it twice. I learned that back in communications. That's how I got a degree. So here's the deal. The iPhone, it's been kind of cloaked in secrecy as to how to program for it. Because if you or I today said, you know what, I want to write a program for the iPhone. I don't know what, I can't go get a book right now. Maybe with the NDA lifting that'll change. This is a tour. Apple coming to several cities around the U.S. They're filling up quickly. Head over to the Apple developer site for more information or check our show notes after the show. What do you got?
Apple to release networked HD TVs. We talked about this.
We were on that.
So I'm double dipping. And we have prop. Time to go to the prop cage.
As you know, we always like to pull out something that's coming up as a product review or just something to show off. And tonight, sir, it is the Concentrator Audio, or the Audio Hub. This is a set of speakers from Logitech. I don't know. Yeah, you can see that. We'll be giving these a shot. These are designed for with your laptop. So for those times when you want to be on your notebook and you need slightly larger speakers than come on your notebook, 2.1 sound, and not just any 2.1 sound. I see here it has premium 2.1 sound.
Premium, it's a good word.
We'll hold them to the fire. We'll see if that's true in the product review coming up this week.
Yep.
Again, that's the Audio Hub from Logitech. I believe it functions as a hub as well.
That's what it says.
There you go. So
we'll find out.
Look forward to that. We have a few leftovers.
Go for it.
We'll put them in the fridge. We'll put them in the fridge. We're done.
Okay.
It's over. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget, tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, Apple will have their announcements. Look for me around 2 p.m. Stop by the Digital Lifestyle. I'll be around. We'll talk. We'll talk about what happened. I'll give you the phone number to call in. No? Why? No? Yes. 2 p.m. tomorrow. Stop by. It'll be great. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
And hope you'll stop by again next Monday. We'll do the show again. Is that the Halloween show already?
No.
Okay, we got one more.
It is not.
Farewell, everyone. We'll see you next time.